Something important has happened this week here on the Nasdaq here. As you're looking at daily chart, welcome to my daily review. Today is Wednesday, January 15th. And what we have here is, I always mention that things happen a lot faster in the market these days than it did 10, 15, 20 years ago. But we had a 7% correction happen in a, 3 week period of time here. We had this three wave down correction here. There's your third leg, and it made the lowest of the lows on Monday, right? Which was 18,831. So, the shorts couldn't push it any lower than that on Monday. Then it reversed and traded higher. And now we have a series of higher lows. There you see the low on Monday was 18,831. Tuesday was 18,926, and today it gapped higher and the low was 19,299. So it looks like, are we out of the woods yet? I don't know. You could see that it rallied through its moving averages here. And I would say, with a gun to my head, which please don't put a gun to my head, but I would say, yeah, we're probably out of the woods on making these lows here at 831. But as far as, a follow through day, you need to wait to the fourth day because, O'Neill, who developed the follow through day, always waited till the fourth day would be the first possible day of a follow-through day because the first 3 days usually have short covering. So the shorts have a lot of profits here. They couldn't press it any lower, and now they cover and take their profits. So this is not really institutional buying. This is more like short covering today. This is the lightest volume we've seen in a long, long time. And the Mag 7 added, what, 550 billion market cap today just on short covering because they kind of press it down a little bit. I'm going to get to those in a minute, but I have a couple other things I want to get to. First is the SPY. The SPY, I mentioned that it had filled the gap from the November election day at 576.74. There you can see it. 576.74 was the high from the election day. It came back. Yeah, I know I used too much screen time. Uh, and then it came back to fill the gap here on Monday and then reversed higher. There you see the low is 575.35, which is lower than 576.74. So that is a gap fill on the S&P 500. I'm using the SPY here, but same difference. It made that lower low. It had that three waves down just like the Nasdaq. It made that lower low on Monday, which was the first day of its rally attempt, which was 575.35. Tuesday, it was up slightly, but the low was 578. Today gapped higher, and the low was 589. Now you see in the SPY, it's still below its 50 here. So I'm sure the bears are going to, have a little battle here, but this is day three of a rally attempt. So as soon as tomorrow, we could have a follow-through day on the SPY. So we'll see how this battle how it works out, right? We'll see who wins there, the Bulls or the Bears. I'm counting on the Bulls longer term. I don't know about tomorrow, but same thing here on the Dow where it made that low on Monday. This is day two on Tuesday, a higher low, and today was day three, a gap higher. Once again, still below the 50. So I need a follow through day to rally above the 50. And then the IWM is the last index I'm going to look at. Once again, that low was on Monday. This is day three of an attempted rally. The volume is below average here, so yeah, I'm not a big Russell fan. But anyway, that's it for the indexes. And yeah, this is not, even though this is above its moving averages, this is only like a day one of a rally attempt. So we'll see what happens with the Nasdaq. It's a little bit further behind in the rally days. And it looks like short covering here, but it is above its moving averages there. Closed today 0.6% above the 10 and 0.2% above the 2. You could see that for yourself, 0.8% above this red line, the 50. And all right, you can see it's still in a power trend as the 21 is above the 50 still. So the Nasdaq, like I said, they had 550 billion market cap added to the Mag 7 today. Pretty strong day for that group. Anyway, I'm going to get to something that I believe is, the most important aspect of the stock market, and that is earnings. We had earnings reports today from the big banks, and they knocked it out of the park, and the stock was rewarded. These stocks were rewarded here. You could say that Citigroup broke out from that 73.38 buy point there, and that looks like go time to me. Massive volume in Citigroup here on a 6% move, and now it's up nearly 10% this week. So don't ignore these banks. To me, the banks, the oil stocks, the energy, the construction are where it's at right now, and not the tech stocks, but I'm going to get to that in a little bit. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Wells Fargo reported, look at the volume coming in on Wells Fargo. You can see the earnings, accelerated earnings 2% to 10%, and the revenues were flat, which is better than being, in red numbers. But anyway, this one didn't quite break out. Yeah, it gapped higher. And you could say it broke above this downtrend line, but it's still within a base there at that 78.13 buy point. So it's still below a buy point there. But Wells Fargo looking good. And this one's up, 8.5% this week. There you can see on the weekly chart, still consolidating within this flat base pattern. So Wells looks good to me. And the other big kahuna that reported this morning was JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon's company. You could see this real easy pronounced, cup with handle pattern here, and breaking out of a cup with handle pattern today. It was only 2% move, but it's up, more than 5% this week. And there's your pattern there in the weekly. So JP Morgan looks good. BLK also reported they're not, they're below the 50 here, but still a nice 5% move with volume. So money was coming into these banking stocks, and this is Discover Financial, 47 billion market cap, still consolidating within a base, even though it did gap up and traded 3.7% higher. So this one is still, what you'd call actionable, I would say, even though it's up 10.5% this week. And it's, let's see how far above this 10 EMA Discover is. Yeah, 5.3%. I usually don't talk financials too often, but you can't ignore the numbers that they delivered today. You can't ignore the moves in these things. And okay, the last one would be Bank of America. Once again, still consolidating within a base, but a nice gap higher, up 2.8% today and 4.4% on the week. So you can see it's still consolidating in a base. All right, that's it for me. I'm an earnings guy, so this is real exciting time for me. Earnings season. Tomorrow we get Taiwan Semiconductor. We're going to have more earnings this week. And then next week, you got Netflix, which is going to be reporting. And what was the other one on the 21st? Oh, GEV, one of the energy plays that I'm going to get to in a little bit. Yeah, this thing's a monster today, but earnings on the 22nd, which is next Wednesday. All right, I got to get to the Mag 7, or excuse me, the Batman stocks, because they added, like I said, 550 billion market cap today. And most of, they didn't make new highs or anything. This is Broadcom, just short covering, I believe. Just pinching in here, just flagging. If you're long this thing, you're going, gosh, the index was up. What did I just say? Man, I'm losing it. Maybe I didn't say. Maybe that's my problem. Oops, I don't need that. All right. Yeah, it was up 2.45% today. So your growth stock should be up, 4 or 5%, would be kind of normal. You can see the volume was 6% below the average 50-day, and it closed up 466 points at 19,511. There you go. I got that stuff out of the way. I should have done that first. So are these stocks up, 4% and doubling the index? No, this one was up 1.47%. Apple had up against the 50 here once again. Bulls and the Bears fighting there. We'll see how this one evolves here in the coming days and weeks. Obviously, earnings are coming up, and that will be the deciding factor for Apple. Up nearly 2% today, though. Tesla was the big mover. Tesla and Google and Meta and the Batman stocks. This one was up 8% today. It rallied yesterday. I want to see this on the 5-minute chart. And rallied up, and the retail folks jumping in, and then it sold off into the close. Then we got that CPI number today, which I didn't think was that great, but the market did, and that's all that matters. We're not going to argue with the market. And then this is options expirations, monthly options expirations expire this Friday. And I think that factors into some of these moves that we're seeing in some of these names. Anyway, a nice 8% move for Tesla today, and it's above its moving averages now. So that one's looking like one of the better Batman stocks. Meta Platforms, got off that 600 number, bounced off the 50. Couldn't get above the high from last week, which I think it was Friday. Yeah, it had to be Friday. 629 on the 10th there. Pullback Monday, Tuesday, today. Had a nice day, 3.8%, but still below, last Friday's high. So Meta's still kind of struggling. I have a sense it's going to come back to that 600 area. Anyway, the other one is Microsoft. It's a chart that I have a hard time looking at. It's trying to rally back through these moving averages. Got through the 200 there, closed just a tick below the 50. Yeah. Amazon had a nice day, 2.5%, back above its moving averages, which you like to see. And I did mention Google, which had a nice day, 3.11%, above the moving averages, undercut the 21, now bounced. So Google looks good as well. So all these Batman stocks are not the same. This is what I like with Google. Since it made that breakout, it's just making these higher lows. Right here, the low, the low, the low, the low. And today, it's higher lows, right? So I don't know. Looks like it might be going higher for the king of the internet, Google. All right, I got to move on. I did the banks, I did the Batmans. I've got to go to these semiconductor plays. Just being fair here with the tech stocks, which people love tech stocks. I post about NVIDIA or AMD or Tesla or Meta, and people will just have a conversation. I post about oil stocks, and it's crickets, man. Nobody wants anything to do with energy or oil. This is SMTC. Obvious here, breakout alert, up 12.5% with massive volume. RS line headed due north. So we like that. Let's take a look at the weekly, and you can see a clear breakout here on SMTC, this semiconductor stock, which is only a 6.2 billion market cap now. But that's nice consolidation and breakout. That's what you look for. I've got to mention AMD because, like I said, I post sometimes about some of these stocks, and people will reply. But in other stocks I don't like, AMD is one stock that a lot of people hate right now. But I think it made that bottom there about was it 114 on last week? 113, 114, there it is. 114 on Friday, 114 on 114, 114, and now it was 120 today, closed at 119.96. We'll call it 120 for AMD. Not saying it's out of the woods because it's got to deliver earnings, but I don't know. It just seems like an area of support there, that 115 area, that all the way back from back in the day, December of 2023. If you will indulge me here, I can draw the line for us. Look, link the line together. So that looks like support for AMD. All right. I got to mention ARM. ARM looks a little better these days. Still consolidating. Got this cup with handle pattern with this like elongated handle, but it made that low of 123. Closed today at 147, above the moving averages. So ARM is looking better. Still, these stocks, besides SMTC, kind of struggling here, which reminds me, I better look at the SMH. Yeah, just sideways action, real struggle. Looks like ARM and NVIDIA there, just sideways action. That's the SMH, the Semiconductor Exchange Traded Fund. All right, I'm going to go to, I said the groups that I like. I'm going to start with VST. This has had some I have this on my Reddit list, had some interesting action this week. Where on Monday, when the Nasdaq made the low and the index was weak, it pulled back to the 10. All right, I think the low on that day was, I don't know, low 160 or below 160. I know people getting upset because it was 156 on Monday. Closed at 169 today. It's up 13 points. Yesterday, it looked like it was going to rally, then pull back, as the indexes pull back. And then today, it looked like it was going to rally, then pull back. It's pulling back to this buy point. This is normal action, totally normal. It's just not ready to break out yet. It looks like it wants to. This is your day on Monday where it made that low. Tuesday rallied up, then sold off. Wednesday rallied up and sold off. So be patient here. I'm going to leave this one on the ready list. I think it's really getting ready to pop. Just keep your eye on that 10. You see it? It's been finding support at the 10 there on the lows. So maybe it'll pull back in the next couple of days, or maybe just one day it'll go low and then bounce, like off a trampoline. So if you're long this one, I'm just holding it. It's fine for me. Yeah, it was down when the Nasdaq was up today. I don't really care about that. I'm looking a little longer term. As a trend trader, this is a nice trend and nice cup shape pattern here. Just needs to form the handle. GEV is another one that I like. I had it on the ready list this week, but it just got, as it popped off that 10 EMA on Monday, it just got a little extended, so I took it off. But this is still, one of the stocks that I like. And yeah, I mean, they have earnings on the 22nd, and we'll see what they have to say. But if you have a little cushion, you could hold into earnings there. And we'll see if 400 is going to be a little bit of a resistance for it. It got up to 392.77 today, pulled back, closed, I don't know, $5 lower, big deal. Those look fine to me. Talon, another one of these energy plays, utility electric power, this is one of the top groups, top stock in a top group. If you don't own this one or never owned it, it's pretty wild. It's got that 230.89, buy point there. It looks like it creeped above it today, but it's got this little box pattern. If I didn't already own an energy stock, I'd definitely be in on this one. But I've got enough. I got my fill. Today it was 231.39, so it did take out that and pulled back a little bit into the close. But Talon looks pretty good if it breaks out of that little Darvis box there from 230 from okay, December 6th. So it's been about 6 weeks. Today's the 15th. Yeah, okay. That one looks good. OKLO, this is one of these nuclear, so alternative. The alternative group's doing a little better than utilities. A top 10 group here. This one pulled back to the 21. Tried to bounce today, pulled back, but it was still up nearly 6%. That one looks pretty good. NRG, there was some news in NRG today, and it slips my mind. Might have been a government contract or something. I forget. Anyway, you could see the blue ball, which indicated, strength, relative strength compared to the market up 4.29% today. It's got that buy point of 103.14. I wouldn't buy it here because it's getting a little extended from the 10. Yeah, it's 5.9% above the 10. So let that 10 come up a little bit. Let this thing come down. 100 to 60 was the high on Tuesday. The low today was 102.22, so maybe it'll fill that gap there and give you a chance to get in. Still, it's something that I like, but it's just I'm not going to put on the ready list because it's just a little too extended. All right. And then okay, I'm going to throw Vert, in with this group. This is electrical power equipment, data center play, cooling broke above its downtrend line, and I like it ever since it did that. Just kind of going sideways, allowing the moving averages to catch up, up a couple days, down a couple days, up a couple days. So, it did undercut the 21, then rallied back above, but still just overall consolidating, in a stage two base there. You can see that. All right. So I did the banks, I did the semiconductors, I did the energy plays, and now I got to get to what I think is the strongest group right here, and that's the oil and gas group. Why? Well, they're making new highs. I just showed you, a ton of stocks that really aren't making new highs, except for some of those energy plays. But the Batman stocks and the semiconductor stocks, they're kind of lagging. They're floundering around. And this one, these oil and gas stocks are either set up in a base or have broken out of a base. This is EQT, got an upgrade today and responded well to the upgrade. You can see these big blue, all these blue volume bars are above the 50 day average. So, it's not, Aunt Sally buying this stock. Nice move today. Closing range, 60% of the daily range. You can see the RS line just heading due north. You can see this, cup with handle, double bottom, flat base, and now finally moving out. So it's been consolidating a long time. It's up 7% this week. And today, West Texas crude oil and the Brent both closed over 80. Natural gas, which this has a component of natural gas. Natural gas closed over $4 today and was up like 4%. So a rally in the oil patch. And ever since I've been watching Landman with Billy Bob Thornton and Allie Larder, I'm more of a oil man. No, I just like stocks that are going higher. AR, this is one that I should have put on the list. I didn't, and this thing's now is getting extended. This one's up, yeah, 7.7% above its 10, so that one's kind of gone. AM is one that's a little more closer to its buy point there at $16, a slower moving name. But still, if this is like shooting fish in a barrel. The oil and gas stocks are making new highs. And so I'm a swing trader, I'm a trend trader. This is a nice trend here from 14.22 to 16.17. I mean, so you ride the trend until it bends at the end, and these things are trending nicely, but not all of them. KNTK still in this little cup shaped pattern, needs to allow that 10 to catch up to it, 3.7% above the 10. Yeah, let the 10 catch up that green line, form a little handle, pull back a couple of days, and then bam, we make new highs. Actually, it did make a new high today. 63.34. Geez, all these things are making new highs. DXPE, I think I mention this one every day. Yeah, you can see why. Hit 100 today, then pull back. 102.18. Yeah, DXPE, that thing's flexing like Arnold Schwarzenegger. GTLS, yeah, 204.23 was the high, pulled back, then rallied. Now this week, let's see what it's up this week. Made a new high today. Yeah, this is up 9.3%, so definitely outperforming these oil and gas stocks. And if you haven't watched Landman with Billy Bob, maybe you should. It's on Paramount though. I don't know if everybody gets Paramount. 44.20 was the high here for Kodiak. Pulled back, undercut the 21, rallied back up, then pulled back again. And now these last four sessions just blasting higher. It's up every day this week. Like I said, it's up 10% this week. Thank you very much. This is a field services stock. That's Kodiak. RRC, anything with the resources in it, got to make new highs. This is Range Resources. You can see the big pronounced cup with handle making new highs. If we look at the weekly chart, this looks like the old Dolly Parton pattern where you go whoop, whoop, and then make the new high. All right. Sound effects are free. Let me see here. DTM. Now, this is one that I might put on my ready list. The only thing that I hesitate, the oil and gas stocks are so strong, but this one's above 100. So it's broken that barrier, but it's 3.7% above the 10. I would like it a little closer. If it just tightened up there, yeah. But the low today was 108.69, closed near the low of the daily range. So maybe it'll allow that green line to catch up. That's DT midstream, DTM, oil and gas transportation pipeline stock. I know I'm going kind of fast here. I want to get through all these. So yeah, write these tickers down because this is the strength in the market here. GPOR, GPOR, Gulfport Energy. This is a U.S. exploration stock. 194.46 hit a new high today. Yeah, took out that old high. Yeah, 192. Look at the big blue volume bars. I had this on the ready list last week, but I thought it was getting just a little extended. I don't think I put it on this week. Yeah, she gone, as they say, she gone. And you just, like mixed things, you just gotta, they come and go like streetcars and catch the next train, right? Catch the next streetcar. There's a couple of stocks that intrigued me. This is Devon, nice dividend play, got an upgrade today. Now this U.S. exploration group is a top 20 group. Devon is one of the leaders in this group. I know it's below the 200. I know, made that low at 30. Tough to buy here, but it's above the 50. But yeah, it's 11.5% below his downtrending 200. Pretty tough to buy, but if you want to look longer term here at Devon, it's just, it is breaking above this long-term downtrend line. So that's yeah, just this week it did that. So I don't know. It just depends on your style. This is not my style, but it depends on your style if you're into something like that. Um, anyway, I'm going to move on from the oil and gas. I think that's enough. I think you get the point. Anyway, the building heavy construction group is another group that's really performing well. How do I know? Well, these leading stocks are making new highs. The group is a top 12 group. You can see the cup-shaped pattern pull back to the 10 EMA. Earlier this week was that Monday, and then the last 2 days have blasted higher, made new highs. There's your consolidation, a cup without the handle, up more than 10% this week. That's AGX, Argan, building heavy construction, just a 2.3 billion market cap. It's not the largest company in the world, but I like the stock pattern. Could show up. These could show up on our ready list here real soon. This is Primoris Services. This is the top performing stock in this group in 2024, and it's starting to pick up where it left off here. You can see the blue dot there. I think I call it a blue ball, which I shouldn't. Anyway, trading the RS line trading through the moving average here. And it's got that buy point at 84.97, call it $85. And I'd like to see it kind of go sideways for a couple of days, allow the moving averages to catch up. And then I'd put it on the ready list here. But that one looks good. Of course, my favorite in this area is Power, which is Quanta Services. If I could type the ticker symbol in there, if you'll allow me here, market search. There you go. Still consolidating within a base, traded above its 50 with volume today. Broke above the downtrend line. I think you could get an early entry buy point here as it's still close to its moving averages. There you go. Yeah, I like Power, excuse me, Quanta Services right there. A nice move up 4 consecutive sessions. Yeah, up more than 5% this week. I think we'll all take a 5% move. That looks pretty good. And then Sterling, another, this is a 5.4 billion market cap, just consolidating within a base, but broke above the downtrend line, closed below the 50 though. So I like Quanta Services better because it's above the moving average. Sterling is below, and that's about as simple as I can be. All right. A roofing stock, BECN, this is, building construction materials. Those are the groups that I think are doing, well. How do I know? Well, it's making new highs. Broke out of this base today. The only thing I don't like about this action is it closed near the lows of the session. You can see that 3% of its daily range. It's still, 7.65% move. That's BECN Roofing Supplies. 7.2 billion market cap. Not the strongest group in the world, but hey, that's a nice move right there for BECN. What else I'm going to throw in there? Oh yeah, I have to do the steel because I don't, it's only name in a group here. But the alloy group is one of the top groups, top 30 groups, and this is the big kahuna in the group, and it's just consolidating here. Needs a little handle, I think. It's going to have trouble there at 200, but definitely showing strength here the last, week. I put this on the ready list this week, and it's up 6.6%. There you can see the, kind of a later stage base cup without a handle pattern. They don't need handles. This thing can go blast right through 200 tomorrow. So anyway, that's Carpenter Technology, a steel specialty alloy stock. I'm going to move on. I don't cover these as much as I should. The internet content group. This is Reddit, just going nowhere, trading sideways, pulled back and undercut the 21, rallied up. The action today, it looks like it was up 3.5%, a good day, but it was really soaring this morning. It's up around 178. Yeah. Oh, near 179. Did it make 179? It doesn't matter. It sold off in the close is what matters. And yeah, it was still up, 3.5%, like I said, but just there's sellers lurking out there. Can't make that new high, right? Above that 182, what is it, 183, 187. Wow, 187. Okay. So I'm watching Reddit. Not really, it's just digesting gains is what it's doing. It's above the moving averages, digesting these massive gains. I mean, we went from what, 49 to what did I say, 187. So you got to give it some time. Still looks okay. RSI, this is one that I put on my ready list this week. Um, uh, uh, Gambling, sports book, we got the NFL playoffs going on. People like to gamble. What can I say? 1492 is the buy point. It looked like it was going to break out today, then pull back a little bit. It was up 15 to 68, pull back. That's fine. I'd still say that 1492 would be, your magic number. And as long as it's, trading around there, that's actionable in my humble opinion. All right. That's the Rush Street Interactive RSI is the ticker symbol. And to me, it looks pretty good breaking out of that little Darvis box pattern, if you will. There you go. All right. Let me see. Last group, then I'm going to go, I promise. PEGA Systems, another one that I have on the ready list. I thought I was going to have trouble with 100, but maybe it's got other ideas. It closed at 100 today. You can see it breaking out of this consolidation, this flat base pattern. Yeah, a lot of stocks that I put on the ready list are doing well this week. This is 123, then it pulled back, but it closed 90%, 96% of its daily range. There you can see the blue dot. Relative strength line is tearing right through the index average line, and there you go. Looks pretty darn good to me, to these old eyes. I got to go to Roblox. Roblox software name making a new high. Very nice. And then Wix is another one that I had on my ready list. Breaking out this week, man, looks good, doesn't it? Nice big volume bars coming through, breaking out of that flat base consolidation up 10.6% this week. I think we'll all take a 10% week. There you see the big volume coming in the last, 3 days of this week. So Wix, me likey. Oh, I got to go to App 11 because App 11 is one of the big software names. Pull back to the 50 for the first time since the breakout, found support and bounce. And that's what you like to see with leaders, right? Leaders finding support. I pulled back last week down to what, 307 on Monday. Last week had a tough week. Yeah, 308 was the low. Made a new low on Monday and then it's bounced the last couple of sessions. So App 11 looks better, more better. And then Palantir undercut the 50, now trying to trade back through it. Once again, the first trip to the 50 since the breakout. All right. That's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up, except for in honor of the great Steve Jobs. I have one more thing. I just wanted to point out Jensen Huang last week at CES said quantum computing was what, 10 to 15 years away. He dismissed it, poo-pooed quantum computing. And then he turns around and he invites them to his electronics show. I want to say March. It might be later than that in Silicon Valley. I believe it's held at the McHenry Center in Silicon Valley, San Jose. Gosh, I want to say in March, but he wouldn't have invited him. That's just lending credence to their they're sooner than 10 to 15 years out. So he kind of fibbed there at CES. I think he just wanted to, have the show be about NVIDIA. And then today or last night came out and said, yeah, quantum computing. They invited this one here. This is IONQ. Had a nice day today, up 33%. And then Rigetti is invited as well, up 22%. So another nice move. I think QBTS was another one that was invited. D-Wave, Quantum Computing Systems, up 22%. And the one that cracks me up is QMCO because this is not a quantum computing. It's a develops a tape and disk drive, disk-based backup systems. Still, it was up 50%. And I don't believe they were invited, but it just trades with the cohort. It just shows you how frothy and how how parabolic this group is. And I just wanted to point that out. You're getting 50% moves and 30% moves in these names in a day. Yeah, I know. Made a high at 90 and now it's at 33. So, that's not great. But anyway, back to the day from November 26th. How about that? Anyway, it's just a little frothy in this group. And all these companies are dripping with red ink here. They have no earnings or, they're losing money. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow is a big day. No, there's no inflation data, PPI, CPI garbage. Taiwan Semiconductors reporting. That's a big deal for the tech stocks, especially those hardware names, NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, ARM, even the data storage plays like Micron. It's going to be pretty important that they hit the ball out of the ballpark tomorrow. Hopefully, you can see it's just kind of going sideways. This is set up, uh, I think, for a move higher. We'll see what they have to say in the morning, though. Anyway, the manufacturing group, 175 out of 197. This is a weak group. They have to deliver the goods in the morning. Anyway, thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up, ever.